The shove was weak, nothing compared to the hits Terrence had taken in his training days. But it wasn't about the force. It was about the message. He felt the familiar heat rising inside him, but he forced himself to stay still. Violence wasn't his first choice. Not anymore. "I'm not looking for trouble," he said, his voice low but firm. "Just let me enjoy my evening and I'll leave you to yours." But bullies don't stop when they think they've found an easy target. Instead, they push harder. The leader grabbed Terrence's water bottle from the bench and tossed it to the ground, spilling its contents across the pavement. "Oops," he sneered. "Looks like your evening just got a little worse." Terrence stood up slowly, his full height casting a shadow over the group. For a split second, hesitation flickered in their eyes, but it vanished just as quickly. They weren't intimidated by size. They were relying on the belief that he wouldn't fight back. But for Terrence, this wasn't about fear or dominance. It was about control over the situation and himself. He glanced at the fallen water bottle, then back at the group. "This is your last chance," he said, his voice steady. "Walk away." The leader forced a laugh, but there was a trace of unease beneath it. "Or what? You gonna sit on us?" That was the moment everything shifted. One of the boys lunged, reaching for Terrence's arm. His movement was clumsy, uncoordinated, a mistake Terrence caught instantly. With a quick sidestep, he grabbed the boy's wrist and twisted just enough to send him sprawling to the ground. The gang's laughter died instantly. But this wasn't over. It was only the beginning. A heavy silence followed. The boy on the ground groaned, clutching his wrist. He wasn't seriously hurt, just shaken. Terrence had applied just enough pressure to send a message. For a moment, the others hesitated. Then, as if on cue, they rushed him together, hoping that numbers would give them an advantage. Terrence didn't think. He reacted. Years of training had made every movement instinctive. The first punch came from the left, wild and untrained. Terrence ducked, sweeping his leg out to knock the attacker off balance. Another boy lunged from the right, fists swinging. Terrence sidestepped and caught his arm, twisting it into a controlled lock that dropped him to his knees. The leader hesitated, his confidence wavering as he watched his crew crumble. "What the hell, man?" he barked, his voice no longer steady. "You think you're some kind of ninja?" Terrence didn't answer. His breathing was even, his focus sharp. The third boy, emboldened by the leader's words, grabbed a jagged stick from the ground and charged. Terrence waited until the last possible second, then sidestepped and disarmed him in one swift motion. The stick clattered to the pavement. The boy stumbled back, his confidence gone. Now the leader was visibly panicked. He raised his hands in surrender. "All right, man, we're done. You made your point." Terrence stepped forward, his towering presence making the gang's self-proclaimed leader shrink back. His voice remained calm, but it carried undeniable authority. "No, you're not done. Not yet. You think strength is picking on someone you believe won't fight back? That's not strength. That's cowardice." The leader's bravado had disappeared, replaced by the realization that he had miscalculated. "We didn't mean anything by it," he muttered, staring at the ground. Terrence shook his head. "You meant every word, every shove. But now you're learning that actions have consequences." He let his words settle for a moment before stepping back. "Pick up your friend and leave. And next time you want to prove yourself, do something that actually matters." The gang scrambled to help their fallen member, murmuring quiet apologies. They stumbled away, throwing nervous glances over their shoulders. But Terrence didn't follow. He didn't need to. Terrence stood still, watching as the gang disappeared into the distance. But the moment wasn't over. What he didn't realize was that this confrontation would leave a lasting impact on the park. one he hadn't expected. Silence settled over the area. Parents who had pulled their children close during the commotion began to relax. Joggers slowed their pace, and conversations that had been interrupted didn't immediately resume. It was as if the entire park had become an audience, processing what had just happened. Terrence took a deep breath, shaking off the tension. He bent down to pick up his crushed water bottle, then straightened up. "That was something else," an older man said, stepping forward. His faded baseball cap and weathered face suggested a life of hard work. "You handled that better than most would have." Terrence gave a small nod. He hadn't done it for praise, but he could feel the weight of the community's eyes on him.